Hi guys, in this video I'm going to show you how we can make a pattern for a repeating pattern that goes into your swatch panel so you can use as a fill color for any of your shapes or even a background if you wish. So what I have here are just three objects from another file, just a sun, a cloud and a tree. And so what you need in order to make a pattern is more than one object. Okay, so if you want to have your pattern being the same object again and again, then you might what you need to do is just duplicate that object holding down Alt or copy and paste so that you have a group of objects. Now the second thing you need to consider before making a pattern is the size of those objects. So if this is our A4 document, the pattern will keep them the same size. So the way we make a pattern, and you'll see that as we get into it, but the way we make a pattern is we select our objects, we go Object, Pattern, Make, as it makes sense, and we play around with, so made a new pattern that goes up into your swatches panel. So you see the colors, but as you scroll down, you can see these patterns that are down there, and we go OK. And so what we're doing is we're playing around with the layout. So this box is the boundary that those three objects, or whatever objects you have selected, fit within. Now what you can do is you can actually then move that. The box doesn't move, but the layout and position of those do. Now what you'll notice is, can you see the size and scale of all these objects? Imagine if I drew a rectangle the size of the A4 page, that would be the layout and the size of those objects. So if you want, you could rescale them down here, and that applies, and you could also play around the scale and proportions there if you want. Now if I just undo all that, what we can do, and I really love playing around with, is the tile type is the layout, half. So what you need to do is just see, depending on your shape, what type of repeating pattern works for your design. Is it columns? Is it hexagonal? So you can see it'll kind of offset. So depending on the design, it might work. And then you can go and have these shapes overlap. You could even have them go outside the boundary, and you can see that it actually is going to end up being a repeating tile pattern if that's what you want. Okay, so depending on the grid that you have, you can play around with the way that these are laid out. I often like doing the hex one and just play around with that layout. And so once we're done, we'll click Done up here, not save a copy, we'll go Done, and that will save it down here as our new pattern. So the next step and the last step is you draw your shape, and instead of a fill color, use a fill pattern, and away you go. So where I might use this would be if you, for example, you could do this really cool repeating like wallpaper style thing, and if we were to have, let's drag all these other things off to the side. Let's say I'm doing inside a bedroom, so I've got just a blank wall that is a fill color. Might be like just a pastel yellow thing going on, and then on top of that, and I'll go Control Shift right square bracket, or just right click, arrange, I'll bring it to front, so that's that right square bracket, and then I can just apply that so it looks like it's on a cool little background. And if I go, you know what, I think it's too big, I can actually double click on that palette, and I can select those objects, and I can do that thing I was talking about before, where I shrink it down and just make some duplicates and just play around with your pattern that works within there. And then we can go Done, and there's my repeating pattern on the background. Okay, so in the next video I'll show you some more stuff. Thanks for watching.